Hello, welcome to the SummerSlam review. Um,
We're a little tired.
I needed to process a lot from last night,
And he
and I'm
needed me
glad
to
I
stop
did.
saying told you, called it for like 5 whole minutes.
Yeah, because I told you were right the first time and the second time. I'm not giving you more praise after that. I gave you the credit, right?
I just like saying it and I like being right because I'm not always right. I mean, I am, but not about wrestling stuff. He's usually right about wrestling stuff, not me. So I was very proud of myself.
No, I'm proud of you too. You did good. You did good, kid. You did good, kid. Um, so I just want to say that last night I called it the TikTok match. I played on my phone for most of it, but Bailey versus Nia Jax was actually a good match.
It was pretty good.
Like, well, a lot of people are saying that was Nia Jax's best in-ring match of her career, and I'm like, okay, maybe I am gonna have to watch that one back and, actually pay attention. Because I do love Bailey, I just can't stand Nia Jax.
Yeah, we are Nia haters, and I mean,
Which is good because she's a heel.
yes, true. Well, and a lot of that
I boo her.
A
I give her
lot
the
of that
reaction.
dislike, though, does come from her previous run with WWE, and we have been giving her credit for doing a much better job post Rhea Ripley um comeback. Um, well, her comeback injuring Rhea
Yeah.
Ripley. Other than that, she has been doing a much better job with helping get people over and not injuring people. She's been a lot safer. And she is doing a much better job. And her working with Tiffany Stratton has been great. I know she's really working with Tiffy, and that has been great for Tiffany. Not that Tiffany needs any help. If anything, Tiffany is also helping Naya.
And now she's just got a big ass boogie woman protecting her.
So no, that's awesome. So yeah, Naya does deserve a lot more credit, and we are kind of holding a grudge from her previous run. Um, and we do love Bailey, and they have not been giving Bailey a decent run at all, like giving her decent matches or screen time or whatever, to make this championship worth anything really. So I was disappointed with it in the first place, but it was a decent match. And Bailey's always good, so props to both of them. But
I hope Naya has a good entertaining run. I hope she I hope they put Tiffany with her to help with ease of promos because that's where Naya struggles the most is promos. Her promos are very bad.
yes,
And I don't know a nicer way to say it than bad. Because I don't want to call them like horrible, because I have seen worse promos get cut by better promo
oh
artists.
yes,
She is very consistently mediocre, and sometimes she has bad promos. The one with Bailey going into this match was bad, but Tiffy can cut a promo.
oh yeah. Tiffy
I
cooks
think
all the time.
Tiffy's about to be the mouthpiece, and I do definitely see a feud between those two and Chelsea and Piper happening because come on, they're the same.
Oh yeah,
They're the same dynamic.
100%. You got
We
the
got the
you got the
arrogant mouthpiece
tiny mouthpiece and a
and the big the
larger
big
woman
protector.
that's the protector. So yeah,
Although if we're having an argument of who the big protector is, like the better one, it's definitely Piper Niven.
yeah.
She's so good. But yeah, so I know that we started with a random talking point. I wanted to get
He
that out
wanted
of
to
the
get
way.
the TikTok match out of the
I
way, as they
wanted
were calling it.
well, as I called it, I wanted to admit
You were
my
not the
fault.
only person
I
that called
know.
it the TikTok match tonight last night. We had other people here and someone else was also calling it the TikTok match. Not me, but I was on my phone too. So, anyway, let's just go through the card as it occurred. It was great. The whole show was great. Actually loved it.
Yeah.
Jelly Roll opened the show.
Jelly Roll's the man.
Love me some Jelly Roll.
Only talk to God when I need a favor.
That's right. Um, I mean, I talk to him all the time, but
I was just quoting
I
Jelly.
yeah, but props to you, Jelly Roll. Talk to him. Okay, so anyway, we started off with Rhea versus Liv. I was initially shocked at how toned down Liv was. Like even her
Right?
makeup, her eye makeup was like almost non-existent.
Yeah.
And her clothing was toned down. So I
Very
was like,
modest. Like very
I look for little signals and stuff, and I'm like, okay, something's up. She's very toned down. So
Hickey baby lay down.
of course the match was good. Um, and then Dominic taking the chair from Rhea, he sold that well with the whole, no, no, you can't win the match this
You
way.
can't win via
And I'm
disqualification.
like,
She'll keep the belt.
all right, that's cool. I still thought he was gonna, cost the match, but then I caught it when he threw the chair in motion to Liv. I was like, he's motioning to Liv, and then he like smiled when Liv won, and I was like, he's smiling. This is nah. See, I was right. He's with Liv. That was all BS when he was like toasting her in front of Rhea, and then they didn't show it on the replay, so the people in the room that didn't see that were like, "Nah, I don't know." And then all of a sudden they're making out, and I'm like, "Oh, not only is Rhea gonna kill him, he gonna be in trouble when he get home."
He
Mm-mm.
gonna be in trouble when he get home and when he show up to work on Monday.
Right? Like the Judgment Day, well, part of the Judgment Day gonna kill him. The Terror Twins are gonna kill him.
I wonder if our cable boxes would work if I take them with me so I could watch Raw. Um, no, I'm gonna have to be on Santi's TikTok on Monday.
You'll live. But nah,
No,
it's
because Raw's
just
gonna be crazy. Braun's Intercontinental Champ. There's just so much that
oh,
happens.
and the Wyatt Six are gonna be in the ring.
I
It's gonna
think
be
I
amazing.
think it's about to be Finn Balor is going to have a propelling feud
I'm so
with
excited.
Bo Dallas if Dom is really with that. I think the Judgment Day just changed. I think Rhea just got edged.
Yeah.
And I think Damien just got edged in one night. We watched two people get kicked out of Judgment
See,
Day.
and that's the one part I called that, and we both had discussed this off camera for months that Finn and Liv were working together
The whole
the
time.
whole time. We just weren't sure where Dom was actually fitting in, if he was really along for the ride or if he was being used.
Because, see, I thought it would work better for Finn if Dom was not in.
Right.
So I was leaning into Dom's not going to be part of it because of the simple fact that I want to see Finn Balor get a singles push. And I feel like him having that tag title with JD McDonough was part of this Rhea Ripley storyline. And once this storyline fully wraps up, which we know it's going through the fall for the most,
Oh yeah.
like most likely, it might get a blow off at Survivor Series. But they did this so well, I could see it actually going all the way through into Mania, the Rhea and Liv feud. But I don't see Finn and JD holding those tag
No.
titles that long. I could see Dom and JD getting the tag titles at some point because I do think Dom is due a belt on the main roster, considering, yes, he gets booed out of the building a lot, but he shows up to work every single Monday.
And
Like,
he's good. Like he's way better than people give
dude,
him
and
credit
he
for.
has improved so
He is
drastically.
amazing.
And this moment,
Dom is the future of the company. Love him or hate him,
the underdogs on top.
stop it. He is the future of the company. Dom Dom, I cannot wait until he loses the mullet and the mustache.
Oh my God, his face turn is gonna be iconic.
Literally face turn, because
But
I can't wait till he loses the Eddie Guerrero look. But
I also love the Eddie look.
and if he actually looked like Eddie, it'd be different. But
No, I love the Eddie look on Dom because I think it's so over the top.
it
Like
is,
it's it's dirty Dom. Like you
and
look
he
at him and
looks
you're like,
dirty.
dirty.
He does look
And
dirty.
I think I think
And that's the difference. Eddie didn't actually look dirty.
I mean he kind of did sometimes.
No,
No,
he was dirt. He was a dirty boy, but he didn't look dirty.
no,
Like,
no.
sorry, not
When the
sorry.
mullet got long when he was with WCW, he looked a little dirty.
Look, I was watching it back in the day, and nah, that man still looked clean and didn't look
Well,
like he crawled
I
out a
mean
dumpster.
he also looked like a pro wrestler.
This is true.
Dom looks like a regular 23-year-old man.
Now
I think
he looks like street trash.
he does look like a
I'm just
street rat.
saying. I love Dom Dom though. Like
But
he is the future.
but no, like I was thinking about it because I was torn because as I said, I thought Finn would do better without Dom coming with him. But then it's like, let's be real. Rhea Ripley, they were trying to balance Dom out by giving him people like Rhea and Finn to cut promos around him and with him.
Especially since you can never hear him.
Exactly, since he gets booed so much. But it did seem like with this one, they started leaning into the like with this feud, the heat of Dominic Mysterio. So they started partnering him up with Liv Morgan. So when Liv was talking, she was also getting booed. And then people wanted to hear Dom more when he was cutting a promo with her. Dom turning on Rhea was ultimately the best move for Dom because he's still too disliked to be a babyface.
Yeah.
His babyface turn, I'd still say at the earliest is gonna come like maybe at 2026 at the earliest. I think he's gonna be a heel for the next at least 2 years, realistically. Like I'm saying, through summer of
Well, and especially with
2026.
what he just did
That
to
just
Rhea,
cemented him
even
as the
though
top heel, yeah,
even though
or as
Rhea
a top heel.
Rhea is technically a heel, everyone loves her. She's the heel we love.
She was forced to
That
become a
that
tweener.
just turned her babyface, and Damien is basically turning babyface. So they both just 100% got turned babyface. And we'll hit the Damien match in a minute, but yeah,
Yeah,
he
they did just get
they
turned
just got
babyface.
turned babyface 100%.
And I never thought I would say this. I don't think I hate Damian Priest as a babyface. Because with how he earned the respect of me, I know he earned the respect of a lot of wrestling
Yes.
fans. And the fact that he earned that respect, dude, he got props from Seth Rollins, which I didn't think was going to happen either.
Yeah.
And Drew McIntyre, like the matches he did have as champion were so good.
Yeah.
I want to see him get back to a championship. Like always thought once Damian lost his world title, it was going to be a one and done for him. And now I'm like, I could see him getting another reign.
Yeah.
I could see, honestly, I could see a few things happening. But I definitely see Damian being a mainstay in the main event scene. He earned it. He elevated himself there. And that's all you're supposed to do in this business.
Right.
And that proved Damian Priest is a true main event guy.
Yep. So we'll hit that match in a minute
Oh
because
my
we got
god.
more to say on that one.
Oh,
But all
Damian
right.
about to get so much fucking flowers, and so is Gunther.
Yep. Love it. All right, so next up was Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for letting Braun Breaker actually get the belt that he deserves and finish off Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn should not be holding a mid card belt anyway.
No, he's
The
elevated himself beyond mid card
the
status.
ultimate underdog that he has always been called and has never actually been. Um,
I mean, he was an underdog against like Roman.
well, yeah, but I mean, when you legit beat everybody, you're
Yeah,
not an
after
underdog.
WrestleMania 39, sorry, Sammy, you are
How
a top guy.
I'm sorry. If let's just be ridiculous for a minute. Let's say I beat Braun Strowman.
Good lord.
Oh, I know. I said let's be ridiculous. If I beat Braun Strowman like 5 times, can you call me an underdog? No. Okay. I'm just saying. Now, obviously, that's completely ridiculous, and I wouldn't even try that. Bron, if you're watching, I know you're not, because why would you be? I love you.
That'd be
I would
fire. Braun, if
never.
you're watching, drop a heart in the comments for my
I just
mama.
look, Bron, I love you, and I would just I'd be scared to even get a hug,
Hey, isn't he
honestly.
from North Carolina?
Is
I think Braun Strowman's from North
I
Carolina.
haven't stalked him like that, but if he is,
Well,
North
no, because I think
Kakalaki.
he has a North Carolina, like the state on it. Like I think he
If
has a
he is, I
tattoo.
love him. If he's not, we're just talking stupid. But North
I
Kakalaki,
might
love
be
you.
wrong. I'm not the smartest man.
Me too, neither. I know I'm not a man.
Um,
Anyway, heck of a match. Was not a squash match at all, but Braun finally got what he deserved. So hopefully now he'll stop,
no,
killing people we
allow
love.
him to keep killing people.
Well, but do it in the ring. No more,
Oh
no.
no, he needs to be breaking people in half for that belt. I feel like
Well,
his
for the
first.
belt, yeah, but
I
don't
feel
be
like
doing it
no.
backstage
I feel like
anymore.
his first
Stop.
three defenses shouldn't even have a pinfall. It should be the ref going like, "Okay, yeah, he's
Yeah,
done.
he's out. He's
Braun, you
done.
win. Take your belt and go home. Go."
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. It's the backstage stuff that, okay, you made your point. Yes, they should have put you in that match to begin
I
with,
don't think he needs to
but
kill anybody else backstage.
please
Ricochet was
don't,
enough.
don't ricochet anybody else.
Samantha Irvin been having issues.
Man, look, she been posting some stuff. You done messed her up, Braun. You didn't lay a foot on her and messed her up. Please stop. No more of that. No more ricochets. Okay, we want him back. Would you stop? I love you, Braun. Please don't. Don't do that no more.
Real quick,
No more, no
I
more.
hope the feud that happens next for Braun Breaker is a returning, debuting the mask Prince Puma. I want Ricochet to return as Prince Puma
Please.
because he was also a heel as Prince Puma. But he
That
could be a
that's
tweener.
like Ricochet turned up to 1,000,000, y'all. Oh my
It's like when
gosh.
you put a mask on Ricochet, he's like, okay, cool. Um, now I only have to sell my facial expressions with my mouth and my eyes. Like that's all he
And
has to
now
work
it's
with.
like
It's
there
all
is
gonna
no
be
gravity. There's nothing holding me back anymore. Like y'all thought stuff held him back before, it did not. Nah, like turn it up. Love me some
but if
Ricochet.
it's not Ricochet, it could be Ilya. But I don't feel like that's the feud that needs to happen now. I feel like Ilya's the feud that needs to happen when it's time for Braun to lose the belt and go from Braun to Ilya. Because could you imagine the lineage of the Intercontinental Championship if it goes from Gunther to Sami Zayn to Braun Breaker to Ilya Dragunov?
Yes. Oh, and I love Ilya Dragunov
That
too.
belt would become
Fire.
um. So I do have something to say on the whole Braun Breaker match. I've watched a lot of Braun Breaker interviews and extra stuff because my friend Zach put me onto Braun Breaker like over a year ago. Like before WrestleMania 39, I was wanting to watch NXT just for Braun Breaker. I also love Scott Steiner. Never really cared too much, like, haven't watched that much Rick Steiner stuff, and that's his dad, but he is a mixture of his dad, himself, and his uncle.
Yeah.
And he does lean into being a Steiner, but there's a reason he's a breaker. There's a reason he went NFL instead of WWE, was because he, just like Randy, was like, I don't want to do that. That I saw what it did to my dad. I don't want to put myself through that. And then he got drafted into the NFL and had to play during 2020,
Yeah.
and then goes, yeah, what was that about the performance center?
Right?
So
Give that another look.
so I'm so glad that Braun Breaker is finally main event, or not main event, but main roster
He will be on the main
mid
event.
card champion. I think he has, honestly, I hate to say it, but the most prestigious belt in the WWE right now. Because like yes, Roman's belt was prestigious, but let's be real. Cody's the second dude who's held that belt because they took
Yeah.
away the other two belts and created one new one.
Right.
And then Seth's belt isn't that prestigious because, or not Seth's, Gunter's belt isn't that prestigious because it went from Seth to Damien, or to Drew to Damien to Gunther. Like it's on the fourth guy, but that Intercontinental Championship is the same one that Shinsuke held, that Sammy held, that Roman held, that Seth held. Like, hell, I think it might be the same one that Randy held when he was young. Like it, I don't think they've gotten rid of the Intercontinental
I don't
Championship.
know.
I need to look
You're the
into.
one. You're
I
the
need
one
to
that
look
would
into the
know.
lineage of that.
You're the one that has all of those.
So what's next?
You
Ooh,
have all that data. Okay, so next, Logan
you taking the lead
Paul.
on all of them?
I guess because I've got the notes
I
on
can
my
read it
side.
too.
Yes, but it's on my side.
Okay, take the lead.
Next up is Logan Paul versus LA Knight.
Yeah.
There it is. Um, yeah. So I was just reading what's up next. That doesn't mean I gotta be the one to talk about it. All right, let me talk to you. All right. You got the lead.
Let me
You
talk to
you got the
you.
yeah.
Okay, so I thought I thought the
We ain't right.
I was immediately uninterested for a second of this match. When I saw Logan Paul was with MGK, I was like, "Oh, I don't care." But then I remembered it's Logan Paul in a match, and I'm like, "Okay, this is gonna be good." And then I realized it was LA Knight, and I was like, "Okay, hold on," because I had been thinking their fight styles, their wrestling styles are drastically different. I was wondering how this was gonna go. Then as soon as LA Knight goes to get in the ring, it just turns into a brawl, and I'm like, "Oh, wow. Okay. Okay." It was going back and forth. The match started after like what 15 minutes of just
And
brawling
I
and
I spent the whole time picking out all the times that Machine Gun Kelly messed up. Like he picked up a big old prime bottle and then put it back down. I was like, did you miss your spot? Were you supposed to hit him with that?
and let's be
Like
real
it
about one
never came
thing.
into play,
Celebrity guests have a weird gauge of usefulness.
right? And
And there's something to be said that like yes, Snoop Dogg at WrestleMania 39, he pulled a big celebrity moment, right? Bad Bunny, Logan Paul, two of the best in-ring performances from celebrity guests, right? Tell me how we had two celebrity guests on the SummerSlam. One of them botched everything that he was on camera for. The other one managed to sneak into the ring almost completely off camera.
but I knew he was coming. That was another one I
No, we
called.
all knew
I
Jelly Roll
said,
was coming.
I heard a chair. Is Jelly Roll coming? Because in fairness, Jelly Roll has pulled something before.
Oh yeah. Jelly Roll loves
Who was
WWE.
it? Who was it he hit before?
I think it was Grayson Waller.
Was it Grayson?
I think he's been
I
low key
couldn't
in a feud
remember.
with these
I couldn't
guys.
remember if it was Grayson or if it was Logan Paul, but I know it was somebody.
It was
I
one
was
of
like,
those two.
who did he hit before? I always forget. But no, I heard a chair from like the commentator table, like got picked up on a microphone. I was like, I just heard a chair. Is Jelly Roll sneaking in? So I was just dying
Dude,
laughing.
and the fact that Jelly Roll managed to sneak in on the hard cam and I barely saw him because they managed to line this up great because Roll is not a small guy. He is a big boy and he is proud of it. Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are not very large men. Like, yes, Austin Theory is buff, but like he's still like what 6'2". He's not like Braun Strowman size. So the fact that those two standing at the way they were standing managed to block most of Jelly Roll sliding in behind them with a chair from the camera was great. I That was a great little moment that
That
we
was
could talk
amazing.
about
I
whenever
love it.
because it was just, the Miz and R-Truth coming out to talk about the attendance in Cleveland, Ohio, and then Grayson Waller and Austin Theory have to interrupt.
They need their TV time.
I guess, which they've been getting more than DIY did as the tag champions, so I mean,
True story.
which bothered me. But Logan Paul pulled out some crazy moves in this match.
No surprise though.
No surprise. Actually, I will say there was one surprise. That springboard spinning moonsault that he did from the ring to the ramp.
Yeah,
Yes, he kind of overshot LA Knight a little bit, but that was actually safer than if he would have undershot LA Knight and kicked him in the face.
right.
Logan Paul has some freak athleticism.
Yes, he
It's
does.
like
He does take this very seriously. I have to give him props for that.
I think it's because he does have respect for the
Yes.
product. Like he gets what his job here is. and he's like, "No, I'm here to do my job, and I have to deliver in the ring." And I do think like Logan Paul and Bad Bunny have raised the ceiling for celebrity guests
Yes.
because there's a history of Vince allowing celebrity guests to come in just
Well,
for like
it
a
was,
cheap pop.
yeah, it was just, hey, let's get whoever to come in. And there was no training. There was maybe, hey, okay, this is going to happen. And boom, it happens. And it's, you
Like they
know,
told Floyd Mayweather, who was fighting the Big Show, "Yeah, bro, it's a fake fight." And then Big Show told Floyd, like, "Yeah, bro, bust me up. You gotta make it believable." Because it's like Big Show can't just go out there and work a
yeah,
guy that does not know anything about working.
no, it's very, it is real. Like,
To
yeah,
me, it
it's
makes no sense that
staged.
Vince allowed that
It,
kind of shit
no,
because
like
it makes no sense.
yeah, it's scripted, but you do
It
really
takes
get
real
hurt.
athleticism, it takes real strength, it
You
takes
have
real
to
training to
be,
take bumps.
yes,
Like it's
a
there,
bump hurts.
and there's a specific way you're supposed to take
If
bumps
you've
without
ever
hurting yourself
seen
for
what
real.
happens when you run the ropes,
Oh my God, it took
oh,
Braun said it took him like 3, 4
and
months
those,
of injuring himself,
they are not ropes. And I
learning
mean,
how to run the
if
ropes.
you've ever held a rope and gotten rope burn, that mess hurts, but those aren't really ropes. They are steel cables
Like,
basically wrapped in tape.
well,
Like,
they're like intertwined, which adds
it's
to the like
like, no,
durability of
that
it.
mess hurts. It's not like rubbery
Elastic,
elastic. That's
which is totally what I
painful.
always thought it was.
No, it is not rubbery elastic. It's not a rubber band. It is a steel cable, and it's very painful. And the mat, yeah, that's
It's
not a
just wood.
mattress. It's wood.
It's wood with canvas over the top of
It's a
it, like,
very thin canvas. It's not
and the
protecting you.
canvas hurts too because
Everything
it's
hurts.
like MMA fighters hate the canvas because it cuts up their feet. If they get taken down, it cuts up their skin. When they're wrestling, it cuts up their knees, whatever points are making contact with it with friction. When these wrestlers are getting slammed on these mats, it's not a comfortable feeling. It's not good. These people are hurting themselves for entertainment.
this is
And
why
the
when
fact
you
that
call it,
Logan Paul, one of the
yeah,
biggest like non-athletes in the world, he is just a influencer, a social media star, and he decides not only am I going to be a part of this WWE stuff, I'm going to work my butt off. I'm going to team with the Miz and go
and
against the
this is why we are
Mysterios.
giving him respect,
It's
even though
he did
he
not have
pisses
to
a lot
do
of us
all of that.
off.
Oh, I can't
He
stand
has
Logan Paul
no.
as a person, but as a
As a person,
wrestler,
we can't stand him, but we give him respect
as a
for his work ethic as far as taking this job seriously because,
well, I've always respected his ethic
yeah,
too, as a content creator, as a social
yeah.
media guy, because
But
there's a lot into that too. But
he's not
this is
playing around with wrestling because this is why people get very upset when you use the word fake to describe wrestling because yeah, you'll get killed for that. You'll get beat up for that because nah, this people have died, people do get seriously injured, people get paralyzed. It is a sport. And you know, as people that, have trained in different sports and martial arts and things like that, I would rather get in a UFC cage and I would rather him get in a cage in the octagon than do wrestling.
because at least a fight is a fight.
And then it's over.
Like
And yeah, you can get hurt and all this, but wrestling is
a show,
a show and
you
it's
have to go above and beyond.
daily and oh my gosh,
I
like
don't have
the
like
grind.
I have the body stature of a Kevin Owens, but I know for sure I don't have what it takes to be a Kevin Owens. I love Kevin Owens. I respect pro wrestling as an art form, as a sport. I know for a fact I could not be a part of it. Like, I would love to do a match, but I would probably only be able to do one, and then I wouldn't be able to walk right for the next month and
Oh
a
no,
half.
I'd be in bed for months
Yeah, it would.
dying.
And but that is why I will give
Yeah.
Logan Paul this respect, is because, yeah, you only defended that title twice in like over 200 something days, but the matches you did put on were great,
Yep.
were absolutely great. And they gave him a lot of good workers like a Kevin Owens, a Randy Orton, which by the way, if you can't look good in a ring with one of those two guys,
Can't help you.
you're not supposed to be there.
Right.
Look at how good everybody that we love has looked in a ring with Randy Orton or AJ Styles. Like LA Knight in that fatal four-way at Rumble with
Yeah.
Roman and Randy and AJ. He looked like a star because all three of those guys, even Roman, sold to make LA Knight look like a legit contender, which is why he was okay with bypassing the mid card scene for a while. But I feel like they needed to capitalize on him. They needed to give him this mid card belt. He's going to turn that back into a workhorse belt before he loses it. And I think he should lose it to Grayson Waller. And that's what the feud should be over between Grayson and Austin Theory. Is that's Austin's belt.
Oh yeah.
He only got his one chance to get back at it and Santos fucked him up on it. Like there was one rematch clause he got
Yeah.
and it got interfered on. He never got a chance at his belt again.
That's true.
And he never got to go on to a world title either. He got stuck on a tag team. He's got animosity that could come
Yeah.
out.
Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, I'm dying for that to break up because Austin Theory
So good.
is as much as those two are funny and all that, Austin Theory does not need to be a part of a tag team.
I don't think he needs to be a heel either
I don't care if he's a heel or a face. Either way, we saw him live and we didn't like him at the time, didn't care a thing about him.
at all.
He was in a match with AJ Styles. And I'm telling you, they spent at least 5 minutes. And I mean, it was just not a televised thing.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
little house show.
one of the house shows, which I highly recommend going to a house show because phenomenal.
Dude, I want to go to a taping, but I still
I will
love
go to
house
as
shows.
many
I will
house
go to a house
shows.
show
Oh,
all the
I
time.
will go to as many house shows as possible.
It was so fun.
But they spent at least 5 minutes just going back and forth with
The
trying to
crowd,
one up each other with the crowd because, AJ obviously popping with the crowd. So, he's up on the
especially
ropes,
considering we're not too far away from where he's from, so
right?
like it
He's up on the ropes, throwing up his hands, and everybody's like, and so then Austin makes a mean face and he throws up his hands and everybody's like, boo. And they did that back and forth for at least 5 minutes. I had tears coming out. I was laughing so hard at AJ's facial expressions, him throwing little temper
cakes.
tantrums. It was hilarious. But then also the in-ring work, him and AJ Styles, I mean, it set the place on fire. It was amazing. So we fell in love with AJ Styles as a wrestler. Not AJ Styles. We were already in love with him, but yeah,
The
even more.
phenomenal one.
He's phenomenal.
Well,
Yeah.
hello, Keeks.
But no, we fell in love with Austin Theory that night. Because we didn't really care about him. He was still new to us at the time.
He
But
was also still U.S. champion at the time too.
yeah. So
Which
yeah,
was
we fell in love with him that night. Just as a wrestler. And him and AJ together, that was just phenomenal. But yeah, awesome. So yeah, I'm ready for Theory to go back on a singles run, go for another belt, um, feud with Waller. I don't care. But yeah, no, those two are hilarious, but don't need them in a tag team.
um. What's next? Ooh,
Oh my fun.
yeah. I'll let you go ahead and keep announcing the matches as they come up.
Oh my God. Okay, so next up was Punk versus McIntyre with the best ref on the planet, Seth
MC Rollins.
freaking Rollins. Oh my God. And I knew I was going to be dying laughing the whole time. And sure enough, I had to tell everybody in the room to shut up because I needed to be able to hear what Seth was saying. I'm like, normally you can talk during a match, but not when Seth freaking Rollins is the ref because he's not mic'd. I
And
think
he's
instead of the little camera in his ear, they needed to mic him. I need to hear him. So I was like, y'all got shh. You gotta hear what Rollins is saying because he's hilarious.
freaking
Oh my God. It was gold. Sure enough, he was, doing the oh with the crowd, all kind of other stuff. He was being very fair, for most of it, but he's like, go ahead, stop to tie my shoe.
Even though
No,
I'm pretty sure he
do
was
that,
wearing
do
like
that.
Velcro
Yeah,
or
I
like
don't think he even
the
had
laces
laces.
were up in under the pants.
Yep.
Like I did not see laces.
He's he's like, you beating the crap out of each other. Yeah, keep that
Dude,
going.
the
No,
one that sent me
you're
was
fine.
the move where Punk was under the ring
He's
and
like,
McIntyre did the like fall back.
he was like, wait, Drew.
Yeah,
Go
fuck it,
ahead.
I don't care.
Whatever. I was living for it. The whole thing was funny. Um, Absolutely awesome. And then, with the bracelet stuff, I was like, yeah, I knew that was gonna distract Punk. And then when it came off in the ring, I'm like, well, Seth's gotta pick it up. And that's one of my pet peeves. I almost made a video about stuff in the ring because there was another wrestling promotion I won't mention, not WWE, where there was something and I couldn't tell what it was that came off. And it looked rather large and it was in the ring almost the entire match and the ref never picked it up. And I have seen wrestlers kick things out of the ring because it's a safety concern. So yeah, a big part of the ref's job is to pick stuff up. Um, and so of course Seth picks it up and, easiest thing to do with a bracelet, just put it on real quick. So I was like, yeah, he's gonna wear that mess. Sure enough, Punk completely distracted. And Seth's just like, what are you talking about? Like, I saved you from this. I'm being completely fair. And I'm like, yeah, you are. Like, so
I mean,
Punk
he
who's like, distracting Drew McIntyre left and right and costing him all of these things. Now you're the one distracted by a little cheap bracelet. And I understand a fan gave it to you or whatever. It's got your wife's name, it's got your dog's name. It's a bracelet. You're in a match. Focus on the match. I got real tired of yelling, focus on your match last night because they can't hear me, but I was really into stuff. But I was just like, no, with Punk, I didn't care because I wanted him to lose. So I was just dying laughing. I was like, yeah, look at the bracelet, Punk. The bracelet.
yeah, we were not wanting Punk to win.
Mm-mm.
Well, so a little bit of what is it? Information, little
Backstory
behind the scenes.
behind the scenes.
My best friend does not like CM Punk.
That is putting it very mildly.
And one of his biggest things that is completely valid is like the whole Jungle Boy situation is just CM Punk being mad at someone for doing exactly what younger him did. He's being a hypocrite. And Zach has, or my buddy has pointed out that CM Punk has been hypocritical his whole career. And that's one reason he doesn't like him. There's many, many, many other reasons. But that is a very fair concern because CM Punk got involved in a Seth Rollins match when he wasn't even medically cleared.
That's my beef.
But
And I know it's
you're
I
mad that
know
Drew
it's
McIntyre has cost you a match? Like what?
well, see, and that's where I drew the line because I was like, this whole thing with CM Punk and Drew, do your thing, it's funny, blah blah blah. The minute he interfered and cost Seth, I was done because I'm a Seth Rollins person. I'm like, nope, Seth's gonna kill you. Seth's gonna kill you. That is exactly what I started doing when that happened.
And then
And
he brought up Rue.
now Becky's got to kill you too. Like you just no, you
Yes, Becky versus Punk. Book it.
and think for a second she wouldn't win that match, and you're wrong. You would
He
be
gonna go
thinking
for a go
wrong.
to sleep and she's gonna do the cradle shoulder slam.
Don't mess with the Rollins and the Lynch. Don't bring up their baby. You don't. You just don't.
The only
So
man in
again,
your marriage?
hypocritical.
The only man in your
Again,
marriage is
is
Becky, bro.
Becky. Yeah. No, and again, like you just said, being hypocritical because you don't talk about my wife
You
and my
don't bring up
dog.
my family. You don't bring up my. Let me
You
bring up your
let me
family.
bring up your daughter. Wait, you can't bring up my dog. And listen, dog family right here. Don't mess with my dogs. But you just brought up their daughter. This is my child. And you can see he's a grown man, can take care of himself. But if you mess with him, I'm going to catch some charges. Still, don't bring up their daughter. You out of your mind? Uh-uh. So, no,
The right man won the match, and Drew McIntyre.
100%.
I think Seth oversold that ref bump.
It's Seth. Of course
No,
he
no,
did.
I'm saying he oversold it in like true Shawn Michaels fashion. He really is this generation's like Shawn Michaels, the ultimate worker. Like, yes, a
He's
few,
a combo of so many of the best.
because you can tell Triple H taught him a lot. You can tell Randy taught him a lot during his time in the Authority.
Yep.
You can also see that Buddy taught him a few things when he was the Messiah. And you also see that he has a little bit of that Cody Rhodes trait of, oh, I've wrestled you enough. I'm going to steal some of your stuff. Because Seth Rollins, the way he sets up certain moves
Hmm.
are totally transitional moves for completely different moves that he just stole from someone he worked with. Like, oh, wait, I really like the way you set up that with that move.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start using that move to set up this move. Like one is that like that arm drag thing he does
Yeah.
to set you up for a stomp. That's an arm drag that's set up for a a face down armbar. It's usually used by like a Bobby Lashley or something as a
And he
transitional move.
uses it for a
He
stomp.
uses it to set up a stomp. It's just as I've said, wrestling is an art form, and
He is an
that
artist.
Seth Rollins is one of the best artists of this generation, and I see why him and Roman Reigns, no matter what,
He
are
is a
still the top.
revolutionary.
They're still the top. Roman Reigns, apparently they released his his belt on the WWE thing last night. There's only like 1,600 sold out.
Wow.
He grossed like $800 million in merch sales within the first like 4 hours of his return at SummerSlam. The tribal chief is the top draw, I acknowledge. Like, and oh, the OTC.
Oh, we'll get to that. Hold it.
Oh
Not
yeah.
there yet.
Oh yeah.
Wait for it.
I
Wait
forgot.
for it. Wait for it. Wait.
We still got the other match that I wanted
All
to
right. So
yap
we
about.
said we'd come back to this one. So Damian Priest versus Gunther. Another thing I called. I was wanting Damian to retain, but we did think if there was interference from specifically Finn or anybody in the Judgment Day, then they would cost Damian the match. So there was a collective expletive yelled in our house when Finn Balor came out to assist. As we've explained earlier, we both knew that Liv and Finn were working together. So, however, I did not think that Finn was going to turn last night. I did not see that coming. So when Finn came out, I was like, great, now Damien's gonna lose. But I thought it would be like a, accidental interference. I meant to do this kind of thing. I did not see that coming, what Finn did. So when Finn straight up put Gunther's leg on the rope, I was like, "Oh my God, he did not just do that in front of God and everybody." And then Damien's watching it on the replay
Jumbotron
on the
thing.
jumbotron, and I'm just like, "Oh my God!" And then Finn's just sitting there staring him down, and I'm like, "Okay, I didn't call that. Like, I called that this was going to happen, but not tonight, not like this, not." Wow. Like, I figured you'd screw him over, but
Right?
obviously screw him over? Like, let me put it right in your face like this, screw him over? Okay. Like, we knew you were going to come after this title, but we thought it was going to be while Damien was still wearing it because, back. Maybe a payback. I don't know. Like,
Is payback still a thing?
I don't know. They're bringing back all kind of stuff. That's
They
why
just
I'm like, maybe add a payback.
I didn't know this because we got into wrestling like like WWE more recently. Vince just used to
I
like
got back
throw
in
like well, you were more of a WCW person anyway.
because somebody kept talking about puppies every time I was trying to watch WWE.
Hey, I'm glad he's not on commentary anymore. I will take my Michael Cole, Pat McAfee, and Corey Graves trio any day. Hell, I'm
Can we
actually
keep Pat
okay.
McAfee
Dude,
forever?
I used to hate Pat McAfee too. I don't he
Oh, you know who else you can put on commentary anytime they don't have a match? My spirit animal.
Kevin
Kevin
Owens is
Owens.
too funny.
Oh my God, I love him on
Kevin
commentary.
Owens is too funny.
I love
I
him on
need Pat
commentary.
McAfee to
Oh my
be
God. If you put Pat McAfee with Kevin Owens, I will die laughing.
they need to have their own little booth with the drawing tablets for
Yes, yes, yes,
because
yes, yes,
we
yes, yes,
know
yes.
Pat McAfee is great with the being able to draw
The
and like
orchestrator.
yeah, the padistrator of like how Liv was looking at Dom, like just that stuff. It's so funny if you give those two a drawing pad and just say, yeah, go crazy throughout the whole show. And when you guys are cooking, we're just gonna put the camera on you.
Oh my God, we need a whole show about it. Anyway,
Pat McAfee and Kevin Owens, that's a dynamic duo we did not know we needed.
all right. So Damien versus Gunther. Your takes?
Oh my God, the chops. I thought Drew and Sheamus and Gunther's like two different fatal or triple threat matches would like be the best chops we ever saw because they were three dudes just beating the crap out of each other with chops. And then Damien split Gunther's
Do you
chest
think Gunther
before
has like no nerves up here because he didn't even know he was bleeding until he looked at the jumbotron?
I think it was a very like thin cut.
I mean, and he came in with like some blood vessels already busted in that area,
I think
but
I think he just has a very tough chest
he
and it
has
probably
to.
well, I think if you think about it, he was Walter for a minute. And Walter was a bigger boy. And chops were Walter's bread and butter. So like I feel like with this long of taking so many chops, his chest
You
does
get,
have a
yeah,
little bit more I don't want to say durability, but like
like your hands
it,
get
yeah,
calloused. It kind of
yeah.
builds up to it, yeah.
But
But
Damien showed
Damien can throw
out.
some chops.
I did not realize to what extent Damien could just go. I really thought Ring General Gunther was going to be a little crazy for him. I did not think that Ring General Gunther was going to be like genuinely like blow for blow with Damien. I thought they had built Gunther up to be so much more powerful by this point, but I guess I just didn't factor in how powerful they had made Damien with the guys he had beaten so far.
Yeah.
And the way they cost Damien this match protected him.
Yep.
Gunther it doesn't diminish his title reign or his title win
Right.
because we all knew he was going to get this belt this year anyway. It's
Yeah.
not like we're looking at it like, oh, you had to cheat to get here. It's like, oh, Finn helped you
You'd
get
have
here
gotten
a
it
little
anyway.
earlier.
You just got it a
Plus,
little
it
quicker.
makes a lot of
You
sense
might have
to
gotten it tonight anyway. Like I
they're gonna
honestly didn't know who was gonna win.
they're gonna Rhea Ripley him.
Right.
You know, you go into your hometown PLE that we put in your hometown for
For
you
you,
as champion
champion.
defending. And guess who they could put in there? There's so many options.
Ilya.
You could have the rematch with you could have the rematch with Damien, you could have a match with Ilya. You could even throw Finn Balor in a world title match as the heel because Gunther's going to be a hometown babyface.
Yeah.
So, and as a Irishman, you can have Finn Balor roasting where is it? Germany. It does
That
add in
tracks. Yeah.
it does like I just feel like Finn Balor's a good choice. Okay, bye Keeks. I feel like he's a good choice.
Don't
Um,
you go sit on Max.
but Gunter looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
Damien looked phenomenal,
It
which
was all over great.
I
I was just shocked that
before we talk about this last
I was just shocked that Finn went ahead and
look
showed his true
Yeah,
colors
like
last
I
night.
thought we were only gonna
We
get
knew.
one turn.
We
Like,
knew it was going to happen. I was just shocked that we got that last night.
and when Finn turned, we knew we weren't gonna get the other turn that we were hoping for, which we'll talk about in this next match. But before we get to this next match, the last match, the main event, I just want to say this might be the best card Triple H has put on, excluding WrestleMania 40.
Yep.
Because I think the only reason that this is in contention or what doesn't beat WrestleMania 40 is WrestleMania 40 had the double edged night 1 and night 2 main event that coincided, which was a never before
Oh yeah.
seen kind of thing where the night 1 main event directly impacts night 2.
Yeah.
But as far as bloodline
And that was
rules
a
matches,
whole lot of Seth, a whole lot of Cody, a whole lot of Bloodline. It was just a whole lot of a whole lot, and then all of the surprises. I mean, you can't beat Cena and Undertaker coming out.
it's just I think it's I think it's just a fact right now that the WWE is 2-0 in terms of hitting with bloodline rules matches.
Bloodline rules.
Mama Rose.
I was waiting for it. I was gonna say it
It's
if you didn't.
it's so crazy that like I thought Cody was dumb for accepting the bloodline rules match cuz I'm like I know it was setting up the Roman return.
I said he's cooking something. The
I
minute
also
minute
had
he
it
said, I
in
said
my
he
head.
can't do it.
I also had it in my head that Roman might not return just because of the thing with the passing of Alpha. Right around Money in the Bank was the funeral. We haven't seen much of
I think
Jay.
it was at Money in the It was the same day,
Yeah, the funeral was money like during Money in the
which is
Bank.
why I was so mad
That
that
they put Jay in that
Jay
match
was at
and
Money in the Bank, missing the funeral, and then you didn't even let him
like
win.
at least Solo got to pin Cody in that tag match.
Why is he here for no reason?
Yeah, like I feel like the bloodline should have been out of the Money in the Bank card as
Like they needed to be at that funeral. Like
because
why?
I get Solo's a bad guy, but
Like come
we
on.
know we know Solo wanted to be with Jimmy. And I guess it was a good thing that Solo was at least backstage at Money in the Bank with Jay because yeah, they might be keeping it kayfabe around cameras, but I definitely feel like they're still brothers and they still
And
are there for
they
each other.
lost their uncle.
Like they lost their uncle. It's a rough time for them. I definitely have it. It's a headcanon that no matter how much of a bad guy the weekend Solo is being, he's still a Fatu.
Yeah.
And we know that with the bloodline, family means more than a lot. Like, and when I say the bloodline, I don't mean like the story narrative of the bloodline. I'm saying like
The
what we know
actual
about the
yeah,
members that are within the bloodline.
the actual bloodline members, the family
Like
members.
Zilla Fatu, keep lay down. Zilla Fatu said when Jacob showed up with the new bloodline,
Yeah.
if you touch the Usos, I can't get over that one. I
Yeah.
can't let that one go. It's this familial bond that they are willing to go to war for each other. I really thought like if Roman was returning, it was going to be with Paul Heyman, maybe Jimmy. But I also think that this one over here was right when she said that Jimmy's not coming back until Jay's getting jumped.
When Jay's in trouble, his twin is coming.
He's going to come out with Sammy. Because it's gonna be like how Roman had to come out. It's gonna be Sammy getting beat down, Jay getting beat down, and then we're gonna hear the new Jimmy Uso music, not the one that they just had. Although I actually kind of like that one, the one that felt kind of tribal chiefy.
Yeah. Well, I said, when Cody agreed to bloodline rules, and I'm like, okay, they took out KO, they
Yeah,
took
she
out
she
Randy.
texted me
I said,
immediately.
I said Cody's cooking something. So either KO and Randy are cleared, um, or he's got something else going on. Maybe he knows Roman's coming back. Maybe I don't know, but he's got something cooking because there's no way if it's just him, he's walking into that daggum trap. And then when the match happened, I was sitting there like, all right, they've been going one on one for a hot minute. You
Yo, they
know,
went one on one for a long
long time.
time.
They were
Solo's
cooking.
best match to date, and I actually have to say this. So I hate to say it. I think Solo actually might be that guy. Like maybe not the guy right now, but eventually he is going to be one of those wrestlers, kind of like a Rikishi or an Umaga. Like it's just that's a tough night out for anyone.
We do have to call attention to one thing though. We need a different move name for his.
Samoan drop because
That
it's
ain't a
not a drop.
drop.
He's throwing. That's
I
it,
called it a Samoan
toss
toss
the Samoan yeet. Like there's a lot.
because everybody else when you do a Samoan drop, you land on them. Like your upper body lands on them, at least your head lands on them and they're clearing. Like he's tossing them. So
I think Solo.
I like Samoan yeet, but he
I
ain't the
think
yeeter.
I think he started doing that because that's new. His
Yeah.
Samoan drop used to be very similar to Jacob's.
I think
I
you
think
just
it's
you
Jacob
you
just
can't
does it
compare to
so good.
Jacobs.
I
Jacobs
think
is the
it's one of
best.
those things that Jacob doesn't have a lot of moves that are necessarily his moves, but his Samoan drop is so pristine, and he does a pop-up Samoan drop. And I think Solo's like, mine has to be different from just a Samoan drop because Roman had a regular Samoan drop. Jacob has the pop up Samoan drop as like what they use as their signature.
Jacob does a
Solo,
lot of flying mess too. Like Jacob's
Jacob does
just
whatever the heck Jacob wants.
Lord. He's like a ricochet werewolf.
I hate it so much sometimes watching Jacob Fatu because it's just like I don't know what move's about to come out of him. I don't even think he knows. I think he's just going, what am I gonna do here?
And I hope he's okay. Jacob, I hope you are not really hurt because I know you actually did get
Crush your
injured
knee. You smack
bad.
your knee on that
So
table.
I hope you're okay, Jacob, because
I
ouch.
I'm
And
gonna be real.
I love watching you work.
I think because I did see something that was like a wrestling insider thing that Jacob Fatu was fine.
I hope so.
I just hope that he really is fine, and that that was just another example of how freaking amazing he is.
And
That he sold that injury.
we did appreciate his reaction to the injury because we were sitting here going, "That's get hurt. Start throwing mess and yelling. Go ahead." Like,
Smacking things, throwing
yep,
things, getting angry.
yep.
I
I'm hurt.
stubbed my toe. Now I'm gonna
Now
punch
I'm
the
gonna
wall.
now I'm gonna break some things, to make me feel better about it. But no, that match was fire, and I'm sitting here going, all right, when's the interference coming? Like Cody's got to start winning so that we can get to the bloodline rules, Mama Rose. So sure enough, here come the bloodline, and I'm like, all right, somebody gotta come save Cody.
All right.
Somebody gotta come save Cody.
Before we get to the saves, I have to ask you a question. We need it on camera. Does the eye patch work for you? Because it's fucking working for me.
Watch your mouth.
Why
I
would
like
you
that.
do that? Now I'm gonna have to edit two things out.
I love the eye patch. The eye patch is working.
He looked
I-
like Deathstroke in the
He
gear with the
does.
eye patch. I was like, okay, hold on. I
He
actually like this
does.
aesthetic. It
He
looked
does.
very
He looks
Samoan Deathstrokey.
he looks like the
Pause.
he looks like the one from Arrow.
Yeah, he did kind of
He
look like Deathstroke from the
does.
CW era.
He
It's
does.
CW and NXT.
Ooh.
They might have used some costumers, you know?
Yeah, he was looking. I think he looking better with that eye patch because
Dude,
I'm not
okay.
crushing on him, but with that winkiness,
He did botch again.
why you gotta point it out to God and everybody?
It was the turnbuckle bomb where he missed putting Cody in the turnbuckle and put him in the ropes and then the turnbuckle. And I'm like, yeah, see, that's the downside of only having one eye able to look forward in a
Gotta
wrestling
get
match.
used to it.
No, I know. I'm not trying to fault him. I still truly think he's hustling
I
us.
think he's hustling because we've seen him before. You don't get worse over time until you get, to a certain age. But he ain't at that age yet.
Now,
Nah,
I mean, granted, I've also seen a lot of things in New Japan that he had some bad moments too, which is why I think he's hustling. Because those Okada chops were so bad, there's no way he actually thought he was looking good going that speed. Like it did not look good. He had to be doing it like intentionally bad. I think he's willing to be a meme for the greater good of getting clicks.
some of us are more than willing to look stupid for the greater good.
Oh yeah, every time I walk about the house.
Anyway, ask
So
anybody I've ever worked with.
so Bloodline stomping Cody, and then the music hits.
What happened on this side of the couch?
We got hype. We
Yeah,
got
anybody near my house, sorry, not sorry. Cause
Kevin Owens came out.
my spirit animal came running out and I'm screaming, I'm hollering, I'm yelling because my spirit animal is about to squash everybody. Oh no, my spirit animal needs some help. Guess whose music hits next?
The GOAT.
And by the way, my friend has been staying here because she's having a health issue and I'm having to help her out a little bit. So guess what she's having to watch a lot of? Wrestling. Guess
Could you
who
have guessed?
guess who she's gotten a little into? Randall Orton. So his music hits and she goes, "Oh my god." So yeah, the newbie is all excited because she's recognizing the music to the wrestlers too. So, yep, Randy comes out to save the
And
day.
they chase the Tongans
So
out into the
they chase away the
audience,
Tongans
which
and
gives open reign for Jacob to come in and just brutalize Cody, which if you watch the predictions, I told you that that was going to happen regardless.
oh yeah.
Jacob was going to come in and he's going to be the reason the final save has to happen.
Oh yeah,
Because
100%.
Jacob beat Cody down to the point where Solo was legitimately going to get him, in my head.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
granted, Cody could have kicked out, but it would have been way too super Cody. And but it would have worked if they had Cody win and then Roman came out afterwards
Right.
and attacked both of them.
And so I said you could just hit, like I said in our predictions, you could just hit Roman's music
And
and
then
it'll just
Roman took so long to
and
come
it'll
out that
it,
I thought she was right about the just hit the music for a distraction.
yeah, I was like, am I right that they're just gonna hit? I said you could. I didn't say do it.
No, like
I
I
was
was
like,
like,
is he coming?
are they taking her ideas?
Is he coming?
Yo, he took so long, and I'm like, oh, he's just dramatic like Anakin
I was
Skywalker.
like, dude, you could have. I was like, Cody, you could have pinned him by now. Come on, man. Come on, man. And then, and then he comes out, and I'm like, and I was having to tell my friend to put her one up because I'm like, she hadn't seen him before. I was, well, she's seen him, but
Not as tribal chief,
she's seen him as like
big
big dog,
dog.
and she's seen the Shield because I've been watching some older stuff too. Um, because I'm going through my Bray Wyatt. I'm rewatching Bray Wyatt stuff.
Taken
So
away too soon.
yeah, I know. I can don't. But yeah, so she hasn't seen him as tribal chief yet. So because so I was like, you got to put your one up because we acknowledge the true tribal chief in this house, and then we see the shirt,
OTC.
and we're like, original or only? And but my head canon is only, not
Oh, same.
original, not original, because until he's gone, there can be only one.
Because see, we were both trying to figure it out in
I'm
our
like,
heads. And I said,
until
is it
he
only tribal chief? And she goes, ooh, I was thinking original, but I like only.
I like only because until he says you are now, not you're the next, you are
No,
now.
he said that Solo was
Yeah,
next.
he
He
said you're
never
next,
said
but
Solo
he didn't say
was
it's
the
your
tribal chief.
he never said it's your turn now.
I feel
So
like the
until he
true
deems
moment
it,
of a
until he
passing of the
gives it
torch
to
would
you,
be Roman taking the
yeah,
Ulafala off of
until
himself and
he
putting it on
puts
you.
the Ulafala on you and says
Or an
you
elder
are,
does.
until he now says you are the tribal chief, you ain't a tribal chief. So he is the only. tribal chief until he says otherwise. So that's my head canon is it's only tribal chief. It can change to original when he names a new one, but he is still around thusly only.
But Roman is the guy, the man, the myth, the
The
legend,
legend.
and I was so hyped because I love Roman. I first got into wrestling going into Mania 39. I love the Usos because we have a familial love for Rikishi because she met him the night before I was born, and he was just such a nice, sweet guy.
Love Rikishi.
And she also met someone else who was not a nice, sweet guy.
Met
So
another wrestler who I will hate until the day I die, but luckily met Rikishi after that wrestler. I worked at the airport, so famous people came through. But
coincidentally, the same airport where Holly Dangerously is banned from being able to rent a car.
yes, never met him sadly. But it's
That would have
also
been wild.
this is why I don't address famous people. Rikishi I only spoke to because some of my coworkers or employees were over there pestering him and they didn't even know who he was, but he was dressed to the nines. So I went to chase them off and I was like, leave Rikishi alone. The man is traveling. He's probably tired. Go away. And he was like, you know who I am? And so we started talking. I did not realize he had children, all of that, at the time because, their internet wasn't that huge
And
back then.
kayfabe was huge back then.
Kayfabe was huge back then. And he is, you know, he was huge in
He's too cool, Rikishi.
he was too cool, but I loved Rikishi back then. But no, he was the best, sweetest, and dressed to the nines, much unlike his ring attire. So I ended up having him going into labor about 4 o'clock the next morning. So love Rikishi.
Therefore, when I saw
When I s-
his boys, the
yeah,
Usos,
when I
were
got
with
back
the
into
bloodline,
wrestling, I was like, oh, I love these guys because
yeah,
I got away from it.
we became fast fans of the bloodline.
Well, I became a Uso fan, and then when I'm looking them up to find out more about him, I'm like, oh, guess who their daddy is? Rikishi.
Yeah, so
So
like
automatically
once all of that came to light, we loved Solo, we loved the Usos.
got to because I love their dad.
Roman, I had a weird little I was already a fan of Roman because I played old WWE games and only thing I knew faction wise was there was two factions I knew of. The Generation X and the Shield. And I forget which one it was. I think it was one of the ones in 2015 or 2014. But there was a like trio tournament mode thing that you could set up and it because it was like the New Day Freebird rule. It was just a bunch of like trios. And I used to play that thing with the Shield all the time. And then when I got into 2K leading into me getting into WWE going into Mania 39, the main villain of the first story arc for your My Career was the Messiah, Seth Rollins. So, already being a Shield fan, love Seth Rollins, I start watching wrestling, and then this guy is coming out super flamboyantly, cutting crazy promos and having amazing matches. And I was like, okay, I'm a Seth Rollins fan. Then I jumped into Becky Lynch. And through all of this, Roman was the only one I already knew I was a fan of. Everyone else, I'm kind of just like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. I like this guy. I like this guy. Roman went through a phase where he did nothing but make me mad as the tribal chief.
Fair.
But I was still acknowledging because I love Roman.
I didn't acknowledge for the longest time.
She refused. It was actually it was funny because she acknowledged Roman after he lost at Mania. That was when she was like, "Okay, I should have acknowledged before. I'm sorry." But I think it's just one of those things of
well,
We
and
didn't
the
understand
reason
Roman because we didn't watch the first like 2.5 years of that
I
reign.
I got away from wrestling for a while because, after having a child and being a single mom and working all the
Well,
time,
and
and
the ruthless aggression era was not appropriate for a child.
no, well, and I just didn't have time to watch, and so, once he got back into it, I was like, "Yeah, okay, well, let's watch WrestleMania." And when I watched WrestleMania, I was like, "Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I remember these people." And, you
Then you
know,
also got introduced to like Alpha Academy in that
well,
multi
so I'm
tag
watching
match,
I'm watching all of these
the
people
Street
that,
Profits.
some of them I knew,
Real.
from years and years and years before, and then some are new to me, but like it all just clicked. And before, 5 minutes in or whatever, it's like he's been into wrestling for a few weeks or whatever, and all of a sudden I'm like in. So I'm a bigger wrestling fan than him within 5 minutes because it just reignited stuff that I had since I was a little kid. So then I'm not just watching WWE. Now I'm watching WWE, and then we're on vacation. I'm flipping channels and I see AEW, and first thing I see is Sting. Okay, that was my hero. So then I'm stuck on AEW because, they've got Sting, they've got Christian, they've got this person, that person. So then I was watching AEW, and then I find this one and that one, and so yeah,
Yeah, we watched
I went
TNA.
I went down the rabbit hole and got obsessed with everything, and yeah.
We've
So
started watching TNA, and I actually think the subscription for TNA is worth it because I did not realize that like Santino Morello was the like GM. I didn't realize that Moose
Franchena.
was doing some of the best work of his career. I didn't know that Mustafa Ali and Dolph Ziggler were like top guy, or my bad, Nick Nemeth are top guys over there.
Eagles.
I didn't know that. What's his name? Is it Ryan Nemeth?
Ryan,
I
his
didn't know
brother.
his brother Ryan was in TNA. Like, we watched the episode of TNA this past Thursday, and I was like, oh, I thought it was just Joe Hendry over here. I didn't realize that TNA was.
No, they got so
They got
many
the
people.
Hardys now too.
Rhinos over there, like so many.
It's so TNA is on fire. I know AEW goes through hot and cold spurts, and it's a production issue that could be fixed easily, but Tony Khan just doesn't. And I don't watch AEW. I'll be the first to say that. I watch the clips online.
I watch AEW, and I'm not going to talk about it on this. I think we've gotten off topic
Yeah,
enough, but
she gets the AEW stuff to me, and whatever she doesn't tell me, I get clips of. I'm more of a WWE person, but I have seen a lot of independent and other wrestling because I've seen lucha matches with Chelsea.
that's one of my favorite things about AEW though is they have a ton of luchadors, and I really want WWE to get some more luchadors.
And it makes no sense why, like, I know Vince did the 205 live, like the 205, like the
Yeah, the
cruiserweight
205
title.
live.
Like that, I know that that was a thing, but he should legitimately make a smaller weight belt, but B, make it for a division that's not necessarily all luchadors, but mostly luchadors. Because you have like Santos Escobar, who's a luchador. You have Rey Mysterio, Axiom, uh, Ray Fenix with AEW, right?
Oh yeah, him and his brother, and they
Uh,
are they are not even the tip of the
you got
iceberg.
Dragon Lee. You had Ricochet,
Mm-hmm. Sammy.
Sami Zayn, Dominic Mysterio. Because in case you didn't think too much. He was trained by his dad as a luchador. He is Prince Mysterio. He just doesn't go by that. Like that is what he is because Ray means king. Ray is King Mysterio, and when Ray retires, Dom might become the next Ray Mysterio. He might be the third iteration because technically, our Ray Mysterio is Ray Mysterio Jr., the second
Mm-hmm.
iteration. There, I feel like luchador division could go crazy.
All right. I'm gonna try to get us back on track because I we got lost
Yeah,
somewhere.
I think
We never even talked about how this match ended,
yeah we did.
did we?
I mean we talked
Nope.
about Roman coming
We
back.
said Roman came back.
Yeah,
We did not talk about what he did when he came back.
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So Roman came back, and there was debate over what he was gonna do. Is he gonna go after Cody? Of course not. Solo been talking that smack.
Yeah, I probably woke up half the neighborhood when he went for the spear.
I was so excited because I knew he was gonna go after Solo because Solo not
Talk
only
that
is
trash.
talking all that trash, he's wearing a ulafala, talking about how he's the tribal chief, and he's been calling Roman out by his name. Keep my name out your mouth. He's been like, if Roman got a problem, Roman can catch these hands too. And Roman's like, yeah, all right, cool. So bad enough Cody's got Roman's belt. Yeah, it certainly is not going on Solo. So Roman's like, all right, I'm coming. So Roman comes on out and gets up in the ring and stands there for a minute.
Superman
And
punches Solo.
Solo's face when Roman came out, first of all, was great because he acting all big and bad, but his face showed.
Dude, did you see him screaming afterward?
Uh-huh. That was
It
gold.
reminded me of when Rock got hit with the spear and sold it by like going when he sat up, but my favorite was still the meme that was like the song with the Rock screaming. But yeah, Solo sold that entire segment ending so well. He played into the role of what we thought Solo Sokoa was meant to be this entire
Yes.
time. He showed his hand that that is exactly what he is. He was truly just built up for us to get Roman returned.
Yup.
And now we know that Solo's about to be getting all the smoke for everything that's been going on
You
for
catching
months.
all that smoke.
And I think they did a really good
I'm here
job
for it.
with hiding the third turn. I
Which
think Jacob,
we still believe is Jacob Fatu.
my head canon is that Jacob Fatu sold that injury so that he would not have to be in the ring when Roman came back.
I'm with you on that. I like that.
I think they did not want to show a third turn on that card.
And I'm glad they didn't because I think
I think
if we are correct and Jacob Fatu is really,
it could be done in a more impactful
oh my
scenario.
God. Well, and if he is really a double agent for Roman, he's really beating the snot out of everybody. Like for real. He's doing his part. He's playing his role. But hopefully he didn't really I'm thinking, because like whoever he attacks that Roman doesn't really want hurt, he's doing it safely, like Paul Heyman. I'll put him through the table because
That
I'll do it as
because
safely as
Jacob was
possible.
not the one taking or doing the table bumps for everybody else. It was Solo or it was Tonga, Loa, or Tam, depending.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you would put Jacob and Tonga on the outside because they're the bigger dudes, and Tama he would be holding most of the weight.
But Paul Heyman,
Paul Heyman, Jacob Fatu said, "I'm putting him through that
I'll put
table."
him through the table because he will do it the safest. He will make sure to protect Paul as much as possible.
In his head,
Yeah.
he knows I'm not trying
I'm
to
gonna
hurt him.
protect him.
Whereas Tama or Tonga
Boot
or
the crap
Solo,
out of Jimmy.
it was Tama. That was how Tama got debuted.
Yeah.
No, like they really did do a good job of not making Jacob touch an original bloodline member at all. He has not touched Jimmy, he has not touched Sammy, he has not touched Jay, he has not touched Roman. He has touched Solo, but not in the assaultive way. He has
Right.
like hugged him, "I love you, Solo." And
I love you, Solo.
that that stuff is what also makes me think he's a double agent. I love him so much, but no, I also feel like if he is a double agent, the turn
It's gonna be
it's gonna I feel like it could be super impactful if done well. Like it Solo versus Roman, we got to be realistic here. You think Roman's showing up on SmackDown? Because I don't.
this week. I think he is.
If he shows up this week, he's not going to show up next week. It's
Oh
one of
no,
the two.
no,
But
no.
he's going to still be taking some time.
He's gonna show up this week, or we're at least getting a promo. He's gonna show up and he's gonna talk.
I think Solo's going to hide or not hide, but I think Solo's gonna miss next week. But the bloodline will still be there. And there will be a moment where like Tama and Tonga are like looking kind of like nervous at Roman. Jacob's just chilling. I think they can show it some little stuff like that. But no, I think Jacob Fatu is definitely a double agent because we got to look war games. It's definitely going to be bloodline war games.
Oh yeah.
And if we're doing bloodline war games, the only reason Jacob Fatu makes sense on that bloodline team is if we can't have the Rock in war games. And if we can't have the Rock in war games, I'm okay with Jacob Fatu turning at war
Oh
games.
yeah.
Solo thinks he's about to get the win,
I
and then
like it.
he spikes Solo. Cody Rhodes is surprised. Fifth member of the OG bloodline.
Or
It's Zilla Fatu. We know it's
or
going to be
hear me
Zilla.
out. Mama Rose.
Nah, nah. Because I was watching something where like the mom or the wife was in the stands and she got like attacked, like dragged over, slammed and stuff, and I was like, yeah, you can't do that to Mama Rhodes.
You could try.
No, you can't do that
You
to Mama
could
Rhodes.
try.
If you
Mama
if
Rose will
no,
lay
if Mama
you
Rhodes
out.
comes over that barricade, it's game over. This is not a wrestling match. This is a street fight.
Listen, I don't mess with Mama. Don't mess with Mama Rhodes. Don't mess with Mama Rhodes. I tried to tell Rock, but he ain't listen. The minute he said Mama Rhodes, I was like, "Don't go there, Rock. She'll kill you. You better hope Cody kills you, because Mama Rhodes will kill you." Well, nobody ever listened to me. Don't mess with Mama. Don't mess with Mama Rhodes.
But yeah, so SummerSlam was phenomenal.
Oh,
Out of 10,
phenomenal.
out of 10, what you give it?
I'm gonna give it a 9.
Solid 9. Like I feel like the worst part of the card was the Nia match, which
Was still a good match.
I still think it was a solid match for any women's match, let alone the fact that it was a championship match with Bailey and Nia Jax. That that was a good match. I know I need to go back and watch it, but like the overwhelming positivity about that match online is very telling because
Yeah.
usually people shit on Nia matches.
She's doing much
Ha-
better.
Even Bailey matches at this point, they usually have no love for. So the fact that this match is getting so much love, I feel like I need to go back and rewatch it. I probably as soon as Peacock's like, yeah, you could rewatch SummerSlam, I'm gonna rewatch the whole thing because
It was good.
I was also very amped up and excited and adrenaline in my soul.
Oh, something, something, Cody Rhodes.
But all right, guys, we will see you in a couple of weeks for Bash in Berlin.
Hoodles.
Doses.
Ooses.
Doses.